been hit with a wave of potential rumours lately about Cyberpunk and its potential new DLC that will be coming on the 26th of June. CD Projekt Red obviously just want to keep giving us content for absolutely free, and I'm not going to say no to that, so I in particular am looking very much forward to this, but there's a few things I want to personally talk about in this video. Over the years, CD Projekt Red has showed a bold statement of commitment 5 years actually after that rocky 2020 launch that struggled with performance issues and bugs, and seeing how far the game has actually come in the year of 2020 is a testament to how hard CD Projekt Red have actually worked to get this game to the point where it is now. However, by this rumoured DLC that we could potentially be getting, it's only adding to the amazing content that we've previously received from CDPR, including the Phantom Liberty DLC, which was probably one of the best DLCs you'll ever play in your life. But what I want to particularly talk about today is how CDPR has set in a new standard for video game studios in particular, because what they are doing is pushing the boundaries to what the consumer actually gets from a fully released title, even years after its release. Now, the foundation of all of this hype to begin with is that confirmed June 26th patch, and it's set to roll out across a wide range of platforms: PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and the newly supported Switch 2. Like I previously said, CDPR has been pouring effort into turning around this series with updates like the 2.0 patch in 2023 that overhauled the perk system, as well as at the 2.2 update earlier this year that fine-tuned NPC behaviour. Now, the redemption arc continues even further on June 26th, because even if we don't get any of these rumoured things that have been thrown around on the internet, even if we don't get this new DLC, new side quests, new missions, whatever you want to call it, it is still a huge win for us fans that CDPR still care about this game 5 years later. And it's something that not most RPG games actually get, and that is consistent updates years after release. Now, just to quickly go over some of the reasons why many people believe DLC will be added on June 26th, unless you haven't heard it already. The firestorm of rumours kicked in with a leak from a senior writer at Virtuos posted on LinkedIn in April 2025, where they basically spilled the beans about working on a DLC, detailing how they have been analysing existing character voices, and this has basically sent the community into overdrive, and rightfully so, with many fans speculating wildly of what this could actually mean. Could we see former characters pop up in new side quests? Who knows? Many people are guessing that we could get around 5 to 10 hours worth of new content, potentially unlocking areas in districts that have never been discovered before. The lack of patch notes as well only fuels this mystery, basically leaving us all wondering if this patch might include groundwork for new NPC models, quest triggers, or audio systems to support this DLC, especially since Phantom Liberty's staggering 5 million copies sold in its first year are a huge indicator that there is a massive appetite for more. Many fans such as myself see it as another step to polish Night City to perfection, allowing CDPR to fulfill what they truly envisioned when they wanted to create this title. However, it's not CDPR doing this all by themselves. They got a big helping hand from a company called Virtuos. Now, they are the team rumoured to be crafting this exciting Cyberpunk DLC, and trust me, they have got some serious credentials that make this rumour even more thrilling. Virtuos first teamed up with CDPR back in 2023, stepping in as a key partner to keep 77 alive and evolving, and they've already left their mark on the game. Now, they played a huge role in that 2.0 patch release in 2023, which overhauled the perk system and gave us richer character customization options. They also helped out in the 2.2 update earlier this year, where they fine-tuned NPC behaviours to make Night City Street pulse with even more life. Pedestrians reacting to your actions, traffic adapting to the chaos, and small little details like shopkeepers responding to nearby gunfire. Now, like I previously said, April 2025, that LinkedIn leak was from a senior writer at Virtuos, and this is what really set the community ablaze. What really does seal the deal on Virtuos' capability is their recent work on the 2025 Oblivion remaster, a project that has turned heads across the gaming world. Now, I've covered this a lot on my channel. Oblivion Remastered was released on Unreal Engine 5, and it took a beloved original Scrolls game and breathed new life into it. It was basically a reskin, yes, but it was merging more classic assets like those iconic landscapes, characters, and quests with cutting-edge graphics, improving lighting, and smoother performance that ran like a dream in comparison to the older version. Virtuos' ability to handle this level of detail, balancing that sort of nostalgia with innovation, proves that they are more than ready to tackle a Cyberpunk DLC. Now, with CD Projekt Red outsourcing to them, it's clear that they are very much trusting them to keep 77 fresh, while that main team focuses on the future. and that being Cyberpunk Orion or Cyberpunk 2 and also The Witcher 4. CDPR and Bethesda have both gone elsewhere, took their own IPs and gave it to someone else and outsourced it to them to do work on it for them. That shows a level of trust which is quite rare in the game industry, but also it could be a case of them inspiring other companies to do the same. Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the most beloved games of all time and one of the best games of all time for sure. Imagine Rockstar, obviously who are working on GTA 6, wanted to get some fresh content for Red Dead Redemption 2, and they outsourced it to someone like Virtuos. We, as the consumer who've already paid for the game, are going to be enjoying brand new free content, maybe new side missions, new character quests, etc., whilst they actually focus on their main goal, that being GTA 6. It's a win-win. We get more free content for games that we already own and potentially don't have to even pay for, and they actually get to prioritize their main focus and give us the best quality games for the future. But it's not just Cyberpunk this is actually happening with the CDPR. They're going ahead and potentially offering us more DLC for The Witcher 3 as well, not outsourcing it to Virtuos, but a different company altogether. Recent news about The Witcher 3 is heating up with a lot of rumours of a brand new DLC, sparked on June 2025 by a Polish podcast leak that got fans like myself going nuts, because The Witcher 3 is my favourite game of all time, and it suggested a content drop matching the scope of Hearts of Stone, which clocked in about 10 to 15 hours of gameplay. Now this would actually be made by a studio called Fool's Theory, who are actually working on The Witcher 1 remake as well. Now these guys are made up of former CDPR and are being looked at to basically update The Witcher 3 whilst we also wait for The Witcher 4, which is CDPR's main focus, once again showing the benefits of outsourcing little projects like this to external studios. CDPR are the heroes of this story. They are the ones who are saying, no, we won't just focus on our next game, we want to keep our fans engaged, we want to keep our fans fed with more content for existing games that they love, and this is why I am such a big fan of them and their work. They didn't have to do this, by the way. They could have quite easily have just focused on their next games and completely left these to dry. No one else has been updating as frequently as they have, so why should they do it? They don't have to, but they do, and they do it for their community and their fans like ourselves. And they could potentially be the benchmark for transforming the future of gaming in general. And is the reason why this Cyberpunk DLC is bigger than you actually think. It is not just another DLC being added on, another little patch, a little fix. It's them rewarding our commitment to their game and actually supporting them and giving us something back as a community. And if any other game studio had any common sense, they would take a look at the formula CDPR are doing right now and apply it to themselves. Because if you want to build good community ties, I'm telling you, this is the way to do it. I'll wrap this up with the section that has got me fired up the most and how all of this could actually transform the future of RPG gaming. The big shift here for me is how CDPR's bold move with free content offering updates and DLC through studios like Virtuos for Cyberpunk and Fool's Theory for The Witcher 3, sort of breaking away from the old school model where single player RPGs get a handful of patches, maybe a couple of pricey expansions, and then just get left in the dust. Cyberpunk's journey from that troubled launch, plagued by bugs, to a polished hit with patches like 2.0 and 2.2, plus that rumoured Virtuos DLC, really shows how they are keeping it alive 5 years later, with thousands of new players coming in still monthly. The Witcher 3 as well, with 60 million sales, a milestone from 2024, has now also got more DLC coming to that as well. It is getting the exact same treatment, showing that this isn't just a one-off. This free content approach, going beyond paid-on add-ons like Phantom Liberty, builds loyalty without hitting our wallet, and it's a stark contrast to the industry norm where support often fades after a year or two for a game. Now imagine the ripple effect. Companies like Bethesda could revive Skyrim with free quest packs, adding dungeons or storyline to a decade-old world. Rockstar as well. Could they potentially add things to Red Dead Redemption 2? Who knows? This could push developers even more to listen closely to their communities, extending support years after launch, think 5-10 years down the line, rather than rushing to their next big release. Well, I suppose they could actually still work on their next big release and just offshoot it to another company, a company like Virtuos. I like to think of it as sort of a sustainable ecosystem, and it could lead to richer, longer lasting RPGs, where your favourite RPG's world actually evolve alongside you, not just through sequels but through ongoing support. CDPR's obvious new model with Cyberpunk 2 and The Witcher 4 still years away, about 2030 for Cyberpunk and 2028 to 2027 for The Witcher 4, sets a precedent that might inspire Larian Studios, for example, Rockstar, to keep their own games fresh with free updates. And the cherry on top of it for all of them would be the fact that they don't actually have to do it themselves. Obviously, they would have to micromanage a few other devs and make sure they're on track, but they can trust someone like Virtuos. Now, personally, as a gamer who has actually poured hours into these universes, I am thrilled that Night City and the continent are being kept alive by CD Projekt Red, and the idea of this industry shift where my favorite titles from other franchises, well, get this kind of love is something I would absolutely adore. I can't wait to see if this does change the industry norm, and hopefully it sets an example of how to treat your fan base after all the support over the years. But let me know what you think. Are you excited for these new free updates coming to both of CDPR's biggest titles? Do you think that any other companies as well, Rockstar, Larian, do you think that they'll follow suit with CDPR's approach? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe as well for weekly gaming videos. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day.